Hello. Alright, next episode is all ready. We just left off right here. The left off. So that would be okay. Yeah, this one. Okay, that's enough about the old geezer. More importantly, let's talk about this incredible lunch. Yeah. How are you? It's a steamy shallot appetizer. Goda stands an excellent chef. Plus, these fish were caught in the adjacent seas, weren't they? They're totally different from the sashimi you get at the supermarket. I got some food right now. Maybe a bad idea to eat while I'm talking. Hey, quit it, Battler. Your upbringing will be exposed. Everyone let out a big laugh. Dang it. You say that even though you love those cheap pubs. Ha ha ha. I've eaten at many unusual places because of work, but this stands right up there with the best of them. I'd be willing to bet Goda-san used to be pretty well known in those circles. Well, I don't know the details, but stuff got complicated at the long-standing hotel he used to work at. What with them opening a new establishment with the same name and breaking into factions or whatever it was. My voice cracks a lot. In the middle of all of that, he was apparently forced to retire. At that time, Mom just happened to be sending out job offers for the servant. As Goda removed the empty plates, he began to recount his own bumpy past without losing a smile. The world is a difficult place. However, thanks to Madam, I was given a chance to display my skills as a chef once again, this time for the Ushiromiya family. Although I enjoy experiencing the smiles of a larger number of people, I also find it quite entertaining to perform more delicate work that can please a limited number of those who have employed me. All of this is thanks to the opportunity given to me by the Madam. Goda-san respectfully bowed his head towards Aunt Natsuki. Itchy nose. That's because you were the most talented of the applicants. The decision was purely objective, not based on personal feelings, so there's no need to thank me. Dang, why did Aunt Natsuki always have to sound so different? If only she spoke with a bit more kindness, she might leave a different impression. So different. Shan-chan and Kumasawa-chan entered from the hallway with a serving cart. Please excuse us. Now then, let us move on to today's dessert. Goda-san and the others laid the beautifully adorned dessert out in front of us all. Adorned. Ugh. I guess it's true when they say you have another stomach for dessert. I thought I'd already filled up on delicious food, but as soon as I laid eyes on the dessert, my stomach started yelling more. I don't know much about desserts, but this looks really good. A white pudding-like substance was garnished with 2 shades of red sauce, and elegant rose petals adorned the dish. Normally, during a high-class meal like this, we're supposed to wait for the chef to extol the virtues of this particular meal before eating. However, Maria was completely indifferent to strict rules like that, so she got excited by this beautiful and delicious-looking dessert, jumping into the fray as soon as it was placed before her. Aunt Rosa scolded her, calling it bad manners, but George responded by saying, now, it's okay. This part's sour! This part's sour! Bad word, this one's so good! Maria exclaimed as she sampled the 2 colored sauces. What? Some are good and some bad? Okay, I'll give it a go. One sauce is sweet and the other sour. Despite it being bad manners, I also stuck my little finger in and licked it. Well, one of the sauces was sour enough to make you pucker up. If it were yellow, I'd have suspected lemon, but I couldn't guess what kind of sourness would be red. I decided to ask Shannon, who was putting away the serving cart behind us. Shannon-chan, what kind of sauce is the sour stuff? Shan-chan hesitated. Maybe her job was just to set the table, so she doesn't really know. Still, even considering that, she seems pretty stressed. Maybe I shouldn't have asked. Or did they use some ingredient that we'd be better off not knowing about? While Aunt Natsuki made a gesture that seemed to indicate an oncoming headache, Kumasawa-san, who was setting the table at the opposite seat, began to chuckle. What do you think we made it out of? Oh, it'll shock you. I don't have a clue. Wait a sec, Kumasawa-san, that last pretty creepy. So, what is it? Don't tell anyone, okay? Listen very carefully. Kumasawa-san leaned across from the other side of the table. I leaned forward myself when she asked. Their interest caught Jessica, George, and Iki, and of course, Maria also put their ears closer. What? Quickly! You see, the sour part is made from juice squeezed from a mackerel. What? Mackerel? That's crazy. We all thought, horrified. Only Maria accepted it, nodding sagely. Sagely? Mackerels are sour. This is what comes out when you squeeze them. Oh wait, I think that was hers in that. I have no idea. When Maria started clamoring that mackerel were sour, adults were unable to contain their laughter. Only Aunt Rosa, her face red, whispered to Maria that mackerel sour only once prepared as shimasaba. Ah, now I totally remember. Kumasawa-san was always like this, wasn't she? I think I remember her tricking me too in all sorts of ways when I was young. The most lethal has got to be that one. Those flimsy black things in Chinese dishes. They're cockroach mushrooms. Kikarash. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Mushrooms. She told me they were penguin meat, and I went out around school like a smart, telling everyone, didn't I? Kumasawa-chan, you sure haven't changed. You know Maria's gonna believe it now, right? It's just a joke. Now Goto-san's going to tell us what the sauce really is, won't he? Goto looked a little put off about his masterpiece being laughed at for such a bizarre reason, but after clearing his throat once, he introduced the dessert to us. Well then, allow me to introduce our desserts. After seeing how much you all enjoyed the Rose Garden earlier today, I finished this panna cotta in a Rose Garden style. The rose petals scattered across were selected just now from that very rose garden. The sauce is a combination of 2 reds, strawberry, and rose hips. Please enjoy this mixture of the strawberry sweetness and the rose hips sourness. Furthermore, the rose petals are very decorated, so please avoid them while you eat. With that said, please enjoy. Whoa. Man, I almost want to applaud before eating. Just like with medicine, reading the detailed description first seems to make it work a whole lot better. As Goto-san elaborated on the details of this dessert, it started to feel even more appetizing. Seriously, should you call him subtle or just talented? The dessert was probably planned from the beginning, but taking the hint when we all stopped in front of the rose garden earlier today, he displayed an incredible and timely awareness by just adding a few rose petals from that garden. This combination of sweet and sour was also exquisite. If it was just sweet, you just get used to it and bored halfway through. But if you reach the sour sauce at that point, you get a really vivid taste. And then, once you return to the sweet sauce, all the sourness in your mouth would be replaced with an enjoyable sweetness. I'm sure everyone else felt the same way. Every time Goto-san passed by one of our seats, someone praised the taste in his presentation. How is it, madam? Splendid, as always. It is worthy of entertaining our guests. I'm most grateful for your words. Madam, did you know? I have heard that rose hip has the ability to cure headaches. I thought that you in particular would appreciate it, so I had it specially prepared. Is that so? Thank you. See, didn't I tell you, Matsui-san? Rose hip is great for headaches. So it seems. I do hope it actually helps. Ha! Goto-san, I love it. Hey, later on, why don't you tell me how they're treating you? Or if you can't, just let me know what sort of sour you'd like. Having your talent confined to the small island is sacrilege to humanity's cooking culture. What do you think about working your craft for my company and delighting all our customers? Our customers. Haha. Hideyoshi-san, are you trying to steal away our Goto? Now that won't do at all. We'd better start treating Goto better, or Goto smashed up. Yes, you really should. If you don't, someone's gotta grab him, and you'll be stuck with 3 meals of Kumasawa-style mackerel cooking a day, won't you? Oh, that's harsh. It seems someone's holding a grudge against me. Wahaha! Thanks for not. Everyone let out a huge laugh. According to Jessica, Kumasawa-san mackerel jokes were a running gag that our parents had long since gotten used to. Umasawa-san often claimed that mackerels had precious nutritional value, which could slow aging, make people smarter and more. Supposedly, while it couldn't stop the outward signs of aging, it helped prevent it on the inside. Since she was still spirited enough to tell these kinds of jokes at her age, there must be something to that theory. In that case, if you'll excuse me, prepare yourself for tonight's dinner. I'll be cooking plenty of mackerel dishes for you all, so you'd better look forward to it. Wahaha, I sure will. I don't know how to laugh for him. Can't wait to get all puckered up for tonight's Shibusawa. He's usually pretty, harsh and, like, down tone, so baritone with his voice. That's the word, right? So a laugh with him would be interesting. That sounds wonderful. I wonder if they'll be serving any good Japanese sake. Oh, we certainly will. Haven't you heard of Rakutima's famous mackerel sake? I don't know. What does a group laugh sound like? Kumasawa snapped together Shannon bowed and pushed the serving cart away. It was pretty funny to watch Koda-san, who looked like his show had totally been sold, explaining in a serious voice that we would be happy. Kumasawa-san, thanks for doing that back there. As she pushed the serving cart, Shannon bowed her head very deeply. I haven't done anything that requires thanks. Kumasawa may have played dumb, but she had obviously understood the shade Sam and at the time. Back when Battler had asked about domestic dessert, Shannon had unfortunately hesitated. There may have been several ways to dodge the question, but all of them would have required some quick wits. Shannon, who hesitated when hard-pressed for a response, was always suffering because of this small weakness. If only Shannon had a little of the craftiness needed to cleverly shake off a mistake like Goda, her life would have been a bit easier. The fact that she could perform other tasks flawlessly made this weakness even more unfortunate. However, there were some who understood Shannon's honest nature, her inability to gloss over a mistake and draw attention away from it. That was why Kumasawa had smoothly come to her rescue. I just heard from Genji saying that there will be a charge in the afternoon shifts. I believe you were given a break until this evening. I'm jealous. I'm sorry, I haven't checked the shift card yet. Yes. I was thinking I might start cooking some mackerel in the oven. If you don't mind, I would be happy if you would help out a bit before your break. Yes. I would be delighted to help. To Shan, Kumasawa was like a mother, among the servants. Whoa, alright, bedtime. I gotta eat food. Very good, too. I'm alright. A little longer. Okay. The dining hall needed to be cleaned up, so we were chased out. Instead, tea was being served in the parlor. Apparently, they prepared the black tea that Aunt Rosa had bought for Aunt Matsui. Maria said she also wanted to have some black tea, but my old said she couldn't and told us children to go play outside. Battery-kun, why don't we all go for a walk outside? Go ahead and take a look at the roses or something, but keep a close eye on the weather. The sky's still clear, but the weather report kept on talking about rain. I want to go to the beach! The beach! Oh, that sounds wonderful. Playing on a sandy beach isn't something you get to do often, is it? Good point. Okay, let's all go to the beach then. Let's go! Maria, be careful not to get your clothes wet. Or your shoes. Obedience is so cute. Battery-kun, make sure you keep an eye out for Maria-chan, okay? Sure, leave it to me. Hey, you're pretty obedient and cute yourself, listening to Kairi like that. Why don't you also listen to me obediently for a change? Huh? No. Let's go, everyone. Come on. Absolutely not. The children fled the parlor. They were replaced by Genji, who pushed a serving cart in and prepared to serve tea. The parlor was filled with a sublime aroma which delighted everyone while they waited to sate their thirst. Ha 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 ha. Rudolph's family certainly seems close. It's a wonderful thing. Quit it, we're no match for your family, Aniki. That's true. You've raised Jessica-chan to be so adorable. 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 The puns. I imagine that's yet another fruit of your talented education and training, Natsuki. Thank you. Natsuki answered coldly. The conversation broke off then, and the parlor fell silent. Maybe Hideyoshi couldn't bear the silence, because he broke it himself with an exaggerated gesture. Still, they sure do grow fast. I thought they'd be kids forever, but they start getting huge all of a sudden, and then they're adults like us. Bataru-kun looks like a completely different person now. His body has grown much bigger, but he's still just a kid. So you could say the same about my husband. If I see another dirty line in this novel, I'm probably going to switch the language. I don't know if that's a good way of avoiding it or not. I wonder where the border between child and adult is. I just still don't feel as though I've grown up. Isn't that pitiful? That's not something a mother of a child should say. That's right. We're not children anymore. We're all adults now. So I wish we could talk together on an intellectual level, rather than an emotional one. Just saying. Battleware was saying some weak, cringy things to Maria earlier, and that was, no. Yark. When Eva smiled with sharp sarcasm, everyone seemed to get more tense. I wanted to be creative with my censoring later on. It felt as though that pleasant tea aroma had been tossed out the window. Since long ago, we've always endeavored to engage in intellectual conversations. It seems your sarcasm occasionally misses its mark, just as it always has. Oh, what is it you've always endeavored to do? My, I wish I could wrap those words up and send them to this room a few decades ago. Right, Rosa? Rosa gave a vague smile. She knew that, whether she agreed or disagreed, she'd earned the displeasure of one of her siblings. It was a bit of worldly wisdom that had been essential for someone growing up as the youngest sibling. Quit it, Neki. We'd better get started on our main topic while the brats aren't around. Let us make that our intellectual discussion. As Rudolph glanced over the faces of all present, somewhat out of slight sigh and somewhat a small look of resignation crossed their face. They were approaching their unavoidable true agenda. Music change. Last year, his life expectancy was estimated at about 3 months, which I guess means he's got negative 9 months left now. Should we take that to mean it might suddenly happen at any time? The family head is still alive and well. The fact that you bring up such an inappropriate topic under the light of day makes me doubt your sanity, Rudolph said. Still, Natsuki-san, this is the sort of thing you can't put off until after something happens. He's still healthy now, which makes this perfect time to talk about this while we've still got time to plan. It's just a bit of financial etiquette, you might say. It seems father is the focus of everyone's concern. Focused. Dr. Nanjo, could we hear the details from you? That appears to be what everyone else was waiting for, after all. Andrew, who had been standing by the window and staring out at the rose garden, let out a single cough when he realized that he was being called. Dr. Nanjo, how is father's condition? Well, to begin, allow me to start with a revision, since my estimate last year that he had only 3 months left was not born. No need to explain. You're saying that measuring the remaining life is only a prediction, not a promise, right? That is correct. Because of that, while I will accept everyone's repeated question, I can by no means confirm when he will pass away. Elderly man, so I need like a drop-down voice, sort of, I don't know how to describe it. A human's life is supported by their body and their mind. If the body is weak, the situation becomes more dangerous, but if the mind is strong enough to compensate for that weakness, the effects of one's condition can sometimes remain in a subdued state. So you're saying that even if his body is weak, his mind is still firm in spirit? Kyrie, sorry, but please stay quiet for a bit. I'm sorry. That is correct. Kinzo-san's body is being overrun by the demon of ill health. This will not hold especially true as long as he continues to partake of such strong alcohol. I'm trying to picture a voice for this man. So he's in a crisis now because he drinks, and maybe he's lived this long because he drinks. There's Dad for you, the heavy drinker. Well then, Doctor, I know you can't give anything more than a prediction. But what do you think about Father's chances of living until this day next year? That's quite a good question I asked about the family head. Matsuyu jumped on Eva, not even bothering to hide her astonished expression. Eva stared back daringly, but Hideyoshi realized what was going on and tried to smooth things over with a forced smile. Matsuyu-san, forgive me. Eva, choose your words a bit more carefully, okay? I'm sorry. I was just so concerned about Father's condition. Is that so? I hadn't realized. Dr. Nanjo, please tell us, for the sake of the beautiful love of a daughter worried about her father's lifespan. Kraus laughed sarcastically, and Eva, smiling sweetly, returned an identical chuckle. Chuckle. That's a Pokemon. He asked whether he will still be healthy next year. But as a doctor, it is very hard to say. Because while I do think this wellness condition will continue for a while, if he suffers some kind of fit, there may be nothing we can do. After all, Rakanjima is a solitary island. It is not as though an ambulance could quickly jump in to save him. Normally, I would want to have him placed in a large hospital on the mainland, but Father stated that he does not want his nobleness interrupted. It seems he holds a grudge over the way we tried to force him out last year. Apparently, he strongly suspects that he'll be shut away in some hospital if he goes outside. And that's how things are now. Has Dr. Ninjo been examining him? Father trusts Doctor. Wait, Dr. Ninjo, I was going to say Dr. Ninjo. Dr. Ninjo. It seems he can be examined when one of his fruits. I can examine his condition, but if I try to recommend medicine or hospitalization, he refuses to listen. I've really only been able to work. It's true some people hate doctors. Still, what a hassle. Ninjo sighed deeply. The purpose of an examination is to determine what medical treatment would be appropriate. Receiving an examination and then not following the advice given makes the whole thing pointless. So, to sum it up, he's still expected to live 3 months. There's no way to guess how long he'll continue to live while still on the verge of death. Rudolph said, couldn't you be a little more discreet with your words? Oh, I'm sorry. I've always talked this way. Give me a break. I understand how Dr. Nanjo sees it. What about you, Cross-Neeson? To be perfectly honest, I have to disagree with Dr. Nanjo. I find it truly difficult to think of Father as a person so sick that he has only 3 months to live. His yell is as healthy as ever, and I still get chills at the thought of his fist raining down on me. Pushing the care of your father solely on the shoulders of the eldest sibling is far from fair. Ha ha ha. In the next world, get born after me. Okay, let's get back on track. So, in the opinion of our impartial and neutral doctor, it wouldn't be odd for him to go any time. No offense to you, Nikki, but I'd rather trust the opinion of an expert in this field. Which means it's definitely not too early to start talking about Dad's assets. Father's personal funds probably reach as high as several 10 billion yen, right? But it's not as though that's all neatly gathered as ready cash. It's not as simple as simply cutting a birthday cake with a knife. That's an interesting way to put it. That's right, you sometimes get strawberries and chocolates on top of the cake, making it hard to cleanly cut it into equal parts. Given that, don't you think it's important to discuss beforehand how best to stick the knife in? I cannot understand how you all can openly discuss this as though the family head is dead, even though he's still alive. Come on, come now, don't you see how important this is? After all, when the time comes, the inheritance of his fortune must be carried out immediately, right? Moreover, the glorious Ushiromiya house's wealth is vast. Don't you understand that careful discussion is necessary beforehand? There's a huge difference between this family's resources and your family's wealth. This family's resources and your family's wealth. Whoa, how rude. My birth family has nothing to do with this. Natsu responded indignantly, though in a low voice, and the already dark atmosphere grew even more hostile. Give it a rest, even. Natsu-san, forgive us. Pardon your rudeness. Hideyoshi tried to smooth things over by glancing at both with a forced smile, but it only resulted in making the hostility between Iba and Natsuki even more intense. It seems I'll just get in the way if I stay any longer. Please excuse me. Nando rose from his seat and exited the parlor. To an outsider, outdoor sorry. It may have seemed like a normal act of courtesy, but his back was watched by several glances envious of his ability to escape. After the doctor exited and his footsteps had disappeared into the distance, Crosser crossed his legs. In other words, this is what you all would like to say. Father's remaining life was short. He went to quickly enter a practical conference concerning the distribution of the inheritance. Why are you so eager, I wonder? Certainly, as you say, estimating and distributing the Ushiromiya family's wealth is no simple task. In that case, shouldn't we make careful and deliberate calculations? It seems to me that you are all impatient to split up the cake tonight. Isn't that true, Rosa? What reason is there to be hasty? We aren't being hasty. However, we need to have an agreement between the siblings. It doesn't matter when we do that. But if the day father's conditions worsens his approaching, discussing the matter beforehand hardly seems hasty to me. Rosa shot a glance at Ida and both. As the youngest sibling in the family, it was hard for her to be cross-examined by the eldest. Oh, is that your true opinion? I didn't expect that the most honest and pure-hearted of the siblings would say something like that. I wonder if those told you to say it. Quit it, Iniki. Rosa's one of Dad's kids too. She's got as much right to this inheritance as the rest of us. It's only natural that she'd be interested. After all, Dad will definitely die, and that's not something that will happen in the distant future. On the contrary, Aniki, you are way too relaxed. It almost seems like you like nothing better than to turn the discussion away from that inheritance issue. What do you mean by that? Are you trying to accuse my husband of something? Calm down, Natsui. Wait, son. Okay, Natsui-san. Listen to what we have to say. Nisan, I hear the times have been extremely good lately. Yes, since last year, we've been in an unprecedented boom, and the yen keeps on rising. It seems that it's no longer a dream that the dollar will reach 100 yen. Also, the ruling party says that it'll establish health resort maintenance law by next year. At this moment, resort development companies across Japan are running about, trying to gather as much funding as they can. You certainly seem to know a lot about it. Japan is about to experience an unprecedented boom. It'll be a repeat of the Korean War demands, the time during which Father revived the Ushiromiya family. The people of Japan have been working like mad, achieving vast economic growth and becoming the most well-off people in the world, reaching the height of our prosperity. We've reached an era where private spending is vast, which means easy money for institutions that can capitalize on that fact. The three kinds of electrical appliances no longer represent the people's needs. The people need ski resorts, golf courses, public pools, resort hotels, and theme parks. Have you gone to Disneyland? Okay then. Have you gone to Disneyland, which opened just a few years ago? I was eating food, that's why I was taking a break. What an excellent theme park. It's a place where even an adult can be a kid and have fun with his family. No longer do we count our shoulder to be selfless, devotional family, care for our families. We have become the most prosperous people in the world, and now we can finally enjoy the benefits. Crossing will force us nothing to seize in. When I heard that sort of thing several years ago, I thought it was crazy. But when I heard about G5 Nation's platform for it, that all changed. The yen shot up, and I'll bet the price of wine skyrockets soon too. It won't be long before Japan becomes the economic center of the world. We've got a great sense of the direction the world's moving across in. At least there can be no debate about that. I feel the same as Hideyoshi-san. A Nikki you can read into the next decade of history. I'll bet you got that keen sense from Dad, and it's incredible. However, unlike Dad, the timing of our predictions has been a bit off sometimes, right? Nissan, you've been starting resort projects everywhere, convinced that Japan will soon see a boom, but almost all of them continue to fail. While I'm sure that the era you predicted will soon arrive, it seems you misread the timing of that boom. You were too early. You then panicked, and just started talking, and tried to sell everything off, which only opened the wound even further. If your nose was really so reliable, then there should be no reason for you to sell off your property. Is this proof that you mistrust your own ability? How rude. Are you trying to insult my husband? Natsu's forehead creased as she rose from the sofa. Eva, paying this no heed, stared at Cross with a confident smile. Cross, who also maintained his confident appearance, told Natsu to sit down. Please stop, Natsu. Eva's always been incapable of talking any other way. Calm down a little, or your headache will get worse. There's proof of your lack of talent right next to us. After all, Nissan, weren't you all excited about turning this island into a resort? You built a wonderful resort hotel and a beautifully maintained garden. I'm just an amateur and don't pretend to understand, but you must have used a significant amount of money for that, right? And what is that to you? My husband's business is none of yours. Actually, that's not true, Natsu. Natsu-san, just Natsu-san. Rakajima doesn't belong to Aniki. It belongs to Dad. Of course, the hotel does belong to Aniki. Right? In fact, we'd be more than willing to pay lodging fees for tonight. What do you think, Rosa? Well, if what I have on hand will suffice. If I can make it into a resort, this island's financial worth will rise. It is true that expenses are piled up, but we can expect a large harvest in the future. When that happens, all of you stand to profit as well, do you not? I understand that. If the value of this island rises, that'll increase our portions when we distribute the inheritance. Of course, I won't ask you to divide the island and the mansion into 4 equal parts. We can just resolve the matter with money equal to the value of the property. If you understand that much, what about my business makes you so dissatisfied? We aren't dissatisfied, we're uneasy. In the first place, Umineko, when do you plan to open that hotel? But this way, you won't get anything out of it except our grubby campus, right? That's right. It's an important tool for your business, isn't it? Sure, you can't keep it locked up until the moment we open it. Buildings go bad if you don't use them and air them out every once in a while. Even so, it's a bit extravagant for a guest house that we only use once a year. Right, Rosa? That's right. Considering how wonderful it is, I'm sure it will become quite popular once you open it. Oh, so the hotel you keep talking about is the guest house. It's splendid. Just as Rosa said, if you were to open it, I'm sure it would become popular. The lodging they had been guided to wasn't originally intended to serve as a guest house. It was originally constructed as a resort hotel. However, even though it was built 2 years previously, there was still absolutely no prospect of it opening. Nissan, it's just like all of your enterprises. Your attention and planning are both fabulous. Then, it always becomes unmaintainable partway through, and ends before you have a chance to earn any profit. You were brilliant when you saw that using this island only as a place to live was a waste. I think it was a pretty good plan to turn it into a resort that could use the prospect of marine sports, fishing, honeymoons, and the like to attract customers. If I were the oldest son, I'm sure I'd have string in my brain looking for a way to make a profit of this island. Off this island. But 2 full years have passed since you finished building, right? After 2 years, you still haven't had the opportunity to open it. Where's the managing company you entrusted it to? Impertinence! That is not my husband's fault. Ah, mackerel. There has just been some trouble with the company that my husband contracted with. No matter how you look at it, we are victims here. And yet, the rumors we've heard about this company you hired haven't been good at all. Let's be clear about this, dear. Did you really think we wouldn't hear about how lack of payment, embezzlement, and other issues led to the project disintegrating mid-flight? We even have evidence. I don't know what kind of evidence you think you found, but it's all baseless. As new members in the tourism industry, it is necessary for us to lay the groundwork with various people. It is also important to investigate the trustworthiness of our claims. It's merely taking us some time to meet that goal. I'll admit that, in my rashness, the hotel was completed too early. However, it's not as though we're paying maintenance costs. It's a foundation that will eventually become immensely significant. Liar. I'll bet you want to liquidate it, but can't. After all, there's no reason for anyone to buy such an extravagant hotel on an isolated, empty island without any established sightseeing routes. And anyway, what about all the loans you made for this project? Even if you are incurring maintenance costs, the borrowed money that you can't return just keeps growing. Sorry to cross you, son, but I've investigated the development plan for this island a bit. To be honest, I haven't heard anything good either. That probably went in the mic. Oh, jeez. Hideyoshi-san, I can see how you might be left with the impression about looking away at the current financial situation. However, this is a forward-looking investment. I had no choice but to admit that my prediction was mistaken, and that up until now, several liabilities have been created. However, the times have finally caught up with me. I could have just done this. However, the times have finally caught up with me. I will soon regain everything that I have lost up to this point. Wait, now I need to close to talk. I will soon regain everything that I have lost up to this point. No, actually, all the investments I have made until now will finally return my position. That's right, just like throwing away a small fry to catch a salmon, it will come back even bigger than before. I'll accept that. The resort business will probably see an unprecedented boom before long, though I don't know if it'll be enough to cover all your debt. However, Krasnisi, after all your failures in the past, who exactly do you expect to provide you with funding? And this isn't some small amount we're talking about. Talking's about. You'll need enough funding to fill the massive hole you dug. What are you trying to say, Hideyoshi-san? Natsui-san, please don't get angry. We looked into this too. We checked to see who might have provided Krasnisi with enough financing to support his recent large-scale projects, despite a string of failures. And we discovered that no such backer exists. The iron rule of the money roulette is that you bet against the loser. Niki, you're a fairly well-known loser in this field. It's true that prosperous times are about to come, but when we looked for people who considered that enough to overlook your string of failures, and also had enough for the investment, we found no candidates. So, the big question now is where you got that money from. Oh, now isn't this intriguing? And? Dear, how long do you plan to let these ridiculous remarks stand? Sit down, Natsui-san. Let's cut to the point. Aniki, you've been diverting Dad's private funds for your own businesses. There's pretty much no room for doubt. If you think we've made some kind of mistake, please feel free to explain. Rudolph, don't call it diverting funds. This is embezzlement, plain and simple. A huge crime that can be criminally prosecuted. This sort of urge cannot be tolerated. How can you face the successor? To the Ushiromiya head family and level these absurd accusations? They aren't absurd, they're right on the mark. I'm sure he'd like to somehow make his business succeed and recover his losses, but his debt keeps getting bigger. He's just trying to cover up the failure of one gamble by making an even bigger one. It's only natural that you try to grab any source of funding close at hand. Let me be frank, Nisan. What you're doing is embezzlement. You're betraying Father. You know that we'll have the court settle this after it's all over, right? Do you think that kind of person has any right to call themselves the successor to the Ushiromiya head family? That flipped the whole page. Oh wow. Of all the... You dare to claim that he has betrayed the family head? You no longer have the right to straddle the threshold of the glorious Ushiromiya family. Leave this place at once! Now! Get out! Natsu, who had already reached the limits of her anger, shouted at Eva in her rage. She then pointed alternatively at Eva in the hallway, demanding her to leave. Eva took out a folding fan and fanned herself with it, glaring maliciously at Natsu as though silently daring her to repeat what she said. However, her mouth was still smiling, curved in the shape of a crescent moon. In that unpleasant silence, Rosa gulped. Hey, Master Easton? To whom do you think you are speaking in such a tone? I'm speaking to the exceedingly rude sister of my husband. As the person in charge of the main family's kitchen, I cannot overlook any more of this. In charge of the kitchen? Be silent, lowly maidservant. Oh, man. Eva folded the fan with a snap and rose to her feet energetically. Compared to the elegance and playfulness she had shown until a second ago, she was now unimaginably aggressive. How foolish. You stand down! Before Eva of the Ushiromiya family. You tell me to stand down? Me, Ushiromiya Eva, the third rank in the Ushiromiya family hierarchy, and the one allowed to sit at the left shoulder of the head? Know your place. And then look at your shabby self in a mirror. Where is the symbol of the wing on your clothes? Where are you permitted to wear the one-winged eagle? Are you nothing more than a borrowed womb to the house of the next successor of the Ushiromiya family? Understand your place, you common housemaid! Oh! He was face twisted hideously as her words gouged in an acidy's heart like talons wrenching at it. There were 100 ways Natsuki wanted to respond. However, her anger and sorrow crushed her throat, and none of those words managed to make it to her mouth. Her anger had nowhere to go, and became a single hot tear that slowly dripped down. What's wrong? If you have something to say, please do so. Come on. Eva faced her with a provocative gaze. However, Natsuki could do nothing but tremble, her clenched fists quivering. Frost quietly broke that powder can's tension. Natsuki, leave your seat. You should go cool your head. What? Natsuki, resenting the fact that her husband had not come to her aid, shifted the focus of her attack. Dear, don't you understand what they're saying about you? These people are baselessly calling you a traitor to father. They are making light of the fact that we protect the glory of the Ushiromiya family, even though we are constantly expending every effort to earn that glory from father. They trample all of that underfoot with their hateful rambling. And you don't even try to fight back? Why? I'm only standing up for you because you won't, but you've been putting the entire burden on me for some time now. And now you tell me to go cool my head. It's always me! Ugh. Even though I have always considered this family affair so seriously, you've... Natsuki was already unable to hide her tears. She flew from the room in that state. After all that remained was a somewhat embarrassed mood about the parlor. When the sound of footsteps grew distant and silence returned, Cross shrugged her shoulders slightly. She has always been bad at controlling her emotions. It's even been rough for me. If that's what's been managing your household, you must suffer to no enemies. Madam, it's nothing. Leave me be. Natsuki flew to her room and threw herself onto her bed, lamenting. Those heart-wrenching sobs reached through the silence in the hallway. Poor Madam Natsuki. There's a deep enmity. There's a deep between her and Eva. Explaining their relationships would be very trying for me as a woman. The Ushiromiya family holds blood in high regard, but if a woman marries and leaves the family, they are normally removed from the family register. Thus, under normal circumstances, Eva-sama should have been removed when she married Hideyoshi-sama. However, there is no one deserving of blame in this matter. The man is certain that there is no guilt. There is nothing to call it other than the will of God. There is nothing to call it. Kraus-sama and Natsuki-sama were not blessed with children for some time. After all, this is the male dominant Ushiromiya family. A life is merely a tool to create If such a wife cannot fulfill her own duty, she would not even be treated as human. Lots of reading. Your mouth is tired after doing a lot. Doing a bunch. It pains me to remember how the master tortured women during that time. Back then, a wedding between Eva and Sama and Hideyoshi-sama was being discussed. Eva-sama was slaughtered. Taking advantage of Madam's inability to become pregnant, she gained the favor of the master. She inspired him to allow her to marry and give birth to a successor herself. making sure to avoid transferring a name out of the Ushiromiya register. There was a vast difference in the Ushiromiya hierarchy between Madam, who married into the Ushiromiya family and was treated like an outsider, and Iga-sama, who was related to the family by blood and his husband took on the Ushiromiya name. Furthermore, Iga-sama actually gave birth first and to a boy. As for how much weaker Madam's position was than Iga-sama's, well, I believe you can see for yourself. I'm sure Madam was tormented by the thought that if only she had gotten pregnant earlier, the master would have accepted Iga-sama's request to keep her last name after marriage on Iga-sama. Iga-sama wouldn't have been permitted to act as Aaron as she did today. However, that was not Madam's fault. All the blame lies with God's whims and the stork that delivered Jessica Lee. Even so, Madam won't allow herself to see things this way. She probably can't help but cry bitter tears as a woman at her inability to carry out the duties expected of her way. How sad. I cannot do anything except watch over her from the shadows. Oh my. Alright guys, all up. Good. We crossed the hall again on our way to the entrance. As we did, we once again spotted that which is portrait. However, spotted is probably not the best word to describe that appearance. Experience. It was more like our eyes were inexorably drawn to it. That woman's eyes, with their sage-like glamour, definitely had the power to make those who viewed it stand rooted to the spot. So this is the witch, Beatrice. Wonder if that story is true. Battery doesn't believe? Back when he had asked what this picture was, the first person to tell him had been Maria. Therefore, when Battler showed signs of doubt, Maria must have felt that Battler didn't have faith in her. Of course, that wasn't what Battler meant. Maria ran up to the portrait and began banging on a plate hanging below it. Maybe the title of the portrait was written there. Maria, trying to prove that she was lying, obstinately continued to hit the plate. Sorry about that. It's not like I doubt anything you said, Maria. Battler, please! When he patted Maria's head and apologized, she seemed to accept it, sticking out her chest and proudly oohing. Okay, I gotta finish the food. I know it's gross to see my mouth when it's eating food, but I can't really not have that happen. Just look at the screen, not me. What's this? My beloved witch Beatrice. Behold the sweet fish river. What's with this weird, huge epitaph? The plate did have the title of the portrait written on it, but it was much too big to contain only that. Beneath the title was what appeared to be a long epitaph. If you just skimmed over it, several unnerving words would jump out at you. Incredible, isn't it? Grandfather had that made. Pretty deep, huh? I know. It's the place where the girls in. Wait, is it that story about the Ushiromiya family's hidden cult? Now there's another thing I remember from long ago. Hold on, Nikki, is this for real? For real? Grandfather had us meet, but he never said anything about this picture or the epitaph. Even so, amongst the family, it is often whispered that it indicates the location of Grandfather's hidden gold, and that he will relinquish the inheritance and the gold to the person who solves the riddle. Oh! I heard that too! Oh! Lots of gold! Well, something like that. Something like 10 metric tons of gold bars. I think it's fake, though. Still, when you read about an epitaph like this, it almost seems true. I think I already explained Grandfather's upbringing, but let me also explain that Ushiromiya family's legend of the gold. grandfather succeeded the Ushiromiya family after it was destroyed in the Great Kanto earthquake, and by successfully riding the stormy seas after the war, he had managed to accumulate that great wealth. Not much of the story everyone knows. However, this is where the strange part begins. Part of it involves grandfather's black magic obsession, so his credibility is extremely low. But, well, wait until the end before you talk and make fun of it. It is Jessica talking right now, right? Or is it I think it's Bauer. After the war, grandfather correctly predicted what the future would hold and won in a huge game, accumulating a vast sort of wealth. But there's a mysterious legend about how he gained his initial funding. Grandfather came from a branch family and had no connections in the business world or the financial world. Even though he later built connections with the occupying forces, he supposedly started as a nameless person who hadn't yet gained anyone's trust. It takes trust to gather money. There's no way anyone would loan money to someone they didn't trust. However, grandfather, who had no reputation at all, managed to obtain his first vast total of funds. When asked that question, grandfather supposedly answered like this. On a certain day, I encountered the golden witch Beatrice. Grandfather then went on and on about his continuing research into alchemy techniques for summoning demons in order to become a great magician, and the entity summoned as the result of the demon calling ceremony was the golden witch Beatrice. He then apparently made a contract by which he received portion of honor in exchange for his own soul. I think I already talked about doing that though. Beatrice. The witch then granted grandfather 10 tons of gold. Grandfather used this gold as collateral to prepare a vast quantity of funds, which he then used to multiply his wealth many times over and revive the Ushiromiya family. It seems the story so old that even our parents were told it when they were still children. So back when our parents were young, they explored this island in all sorts of ways, believing that the gold grandfather had received from the witch might be hidden somewhere. However, since there was a danger of them getting lost in the abandoned forest, grandfather began to spread the story that the witch lived in the forest and approaching it was forbidden. I remember that old story. When we were little, we also went all over the island searching for treasure after our parents told us about it. Didn't we get lost in the forest once and start crying until some of the servants found us? Our parents got so mad. Dang, that takes me back. We sure were idiots, weren't we? After all, grandfather only bought this island after using those funds to get rich, right? That means he must have had the gold before coming here. Whoops. I think it was Bauer saying all that, but it might have been Jessica before, like, all the that started describing. That means he must have had the gold before coming here. There's no way the gold's on this island. Oh wait, maybe it was him. No, I'm sure it was Bauer. It's not necessarily so. Maybe the gold was hidden on that island from the beginning, and he bought the whole island just to ensure that it'd be his and his alone. There was a whole 10 metric tons of it, right? It seems more realistic that he tried to secure the place where it was hidden rather than try to move it all. The epitaph was made 2 years ago, and since grandfather wrote it himself, it does make the legend of the gold seem more believable. The so-called witch's gold that revived the Ushiromiya family weighed 10 tons. Maybe that's sleeping somewhere ready to be turned over to whoever can solve grandfather's riddle. Maybe that's why he did it. I guess that sounds like grandfather's style or something. If that's true, that's pretty incredible. That epitaph carved into the plate was very mysterious, with something like a poem or a song written on it. That text was incredibly disturbing, filled with the signs of grandfather's black magic hobby, and its contents were in truly bad taste. But it could definitely be viewed as a puzzle which, if solved, might lead to the hidden gold. Whether that's what he intended or not, I can't even imagine what his true motive would have been. All we know for sure is that grandfather put the shady epitaph here so that everyone in the family could see it. We also know that he's hinted at the existence of the gold without ever talking about where it might be hidden, at least so far. These facts then were embellished by the imaginations of our parents, who were convinced that grandfather was challenging us to a battle of wits. Sounds just like my dad, so greedy that he takes something like this so seriously. He may laugh at grandfather's black magic obsession, but he still believed the story about the hidden gold. It just sounds so good. Well, it's certainly not a realistic story. At that time, when grandfather was still nameless and had no connections, there was no way anyone would just let him amass a quantity of gold bars for free. if such a person actually did exist, it's not unthinkable that grandfather would call such a sponsor a witch. Yeah, but it's 10 tons. 10 tons! If you cash that in, how much would it come to? I mean, it'd have to be a ridiculous amount, right? It certainly would be a ridiculous amount. They say that the total amount of gold mined by humankind since the dawn of history is 100,000 metric tons at most. That one in 10,000 of all the gold humankind has obtained throughout history should belong to just one person is just insane. On top of that, this witch supposedly had all that gold collected in one place and was able to lend it to grandfather just like that. We're not talking about any ordinary person. Well, to me, that 10 tons number seems pretty fishy. After all, no one's actually seen him except grandfather, right? Even if we assume that some generous witch existed and lent him some gold, maybe it was closer to 10 kilograms than 10 tons. Even 10 kilograms would be a pretty incredible sum, right? 10 kilograms of gold is how much? Maria, who wasn't following the story and felt like she was being spoken to in riddles, finally found a place where she could ask her the question. It was a question I also wanted to answer right. Whether it was held 10 kilograms or 10 tons, it still felt like a huge amount, but I had no idea exactly how much. George Niki folded his arms and tried to remember the market price of gold. Well, even the value of gold is affected by the market, and the value of physical gold can change depending on its purity and trustworthiness of the founder. You'd also need to pay a handling fees to cash it in. However, that doesn't change the fact that it's a precious metal, and some people estimate that humanity will mine all the world's gold within half a century if gold mining continues at its current rate. Just guessing haphazardly, I think you could expect the price of about 2 million yen per kilogram. Well, just now I randomly said 10 kilograms since it sounded smaller, but even that would be worth 20 million yen, wouldn't it? Well, I weigh 28 kilograms. Which means that if we add Maria Chan's weight in gold, we could estimate its worth at over 50 million yen. That's just unbelievable. How much would 10 tons be then? 10 kilograms is 20 million yen, which you multiply by 1,000, so 20 billion. Huh? 20 billion yen? What the heck? What the heck? How much is 20 billion yen actually worth? We can only measure relative to our own pocketbooks. Anyway, let's say that a person's wages over a lifetime are about 200 million yen. You grow up and work like crazy, sacrificing your life for your company, and you're finally freed as you approach old age. Everything, including retirement money, might add up to about 200 million yen. In other words, that's the amount of money that will be made throughout a human's life. No, you can even call it the value of a life. So, 100 times that sum is an unbelievable amount of money. If you work from age 20 to age 60, that's 40 years of work, so it's equal to 4,000 years of work wages. If you worked every day starting from the Jomon period, you'd only reach that number around now. Is 20 million yen a lot? Heck yeah, it's a lot. Maria, you love shortcake, right? You could buy more shortcake than you could possibly eat for the rest of your life. However, while that might be possible with 20 million yen in cash, I don't think it would be very realistic to have that much in gold bars all in one place. Just as I said, gold is extremely heavy, so it isn't exactly convenient as a method of storing wealth. Sure, you could imagine someone gathering their fortune together as incredibly high-value stocks or precious gems. You often hear of people who trade their wealth for precious gems so that they could carry it around with them during the chaotic times of the war. But you don't usually hear stories of people exchanging their wealth for gold. It may be heavy, but it's the most trusted and stable form of wealth internationally, so maybe that was important. For example, bonds are just scraps of paper the whole country goes under. You can also look at it that way. But even one 10-kilogram ingot is pretty heavy to carry around. Haven't you heard? A 50-kilogram person can't carry a 50-kilogram bag over their shoulder. With that many gold bars, the amount of labor and risk for one person would be hard to calculate. So what you're saying is, well, it would be one thing if you had a stack of banknotes worth 20 billion yen. 20 billion gold would be such a big mountain that practically it'd be kind of pointless. That's right. Although the legend of the gold does have a pretty interesting movie to it, just the part about 10 tons of gold makes it pretty much impossible. If you think about it logically like that, it sounds obviously big. Kind of brings you back down to reality. Anyway, that's grandfather for you. Maybe he exaggerated the story of how some kind, wealthy person came along by saying he got 10 tons of gold from a witch, even though the number 10 tons feels pretty symbolic. You mean like his gratitude for the money he borrowed was worth 10 tons of gold or something? Maybe some rich man's luxury wife very generously granted it to grandfather, and maybe he started calling this person a witch. I see Jessica's example isn't bad. Someone who generously lent a huge sum of money to grandfather when he still had no reputation might as well be called a witch. Furthermore, grandfather actually did use that money to build a vast amount of wealth later on. The fact that this person was so great at judging people might also justify calling her a witch. Also, since she went to the trouble of lending all that money, she might have enthusiastically overseen how it was spent. The decision to unexpectedly get involved with the occupied forces and profit from the reward demands might have been inspired by witches. That might explain why she claimed to have received both wealth and honor from her. I see. So in other words, this witch lent grandfather the funds necessary to revive the Ushiromiya family, and he owed her big time. And then he felt so grateful that he had that huge painting drawn and displayed. Yeah, it's not that crazy a story. It's even possible that this person was an old granny who looked like a witch. Even maybe grandfather idolized her, and that's why he had her drawn to look so beautiful. I'll bet if we ever did meet this person, she wouldn't be nearly this pretty. That's possible. The name Beatrice sounds pretty Western, and if you think about how everyone in our family has Western names, maybe even the name Beatrice is the result of grandfather trying to rearrange some Japanese person's name to make it sound Western. I get it. That means this pretty girl doesn't exist outside the picture. Guess that means I won't be able to have those elegant breasts. And in the first... Wait, that was his laugh? Yeah. And in the first place, isn't having a witch pretty bizarre by itself? Like you could find something like that anywhere on Earth? I laughed and made fun of the witch, trying to distinguish myself from the kid I was 6 years ago who feared the witch of the forest when Maria tugged on my sleeve. I could tell by how hard she pulled that she was a bit upset. What is it, Maria? Beatrice exists! Maria stared up at me. She had on her usual sour look, but I could tell she was angry by the color of her eyes. Witches exist! Witches exist! Well, sure, they do exist if you turn the TV on and watch anime or something. Exist! Witches exist! You are an anime. I started getting impatient, not knowing why Maria was jumping on me like this. But yeah. Then Jessica tapped on me. I agree that you're smashing on a cage. Wait, you're smashing your cage screen. Maria really believes things like witches and Beatrice exist. Come to think of it, Maria Chen, in social studies at your school, when you were asked to write that you wanted to be when you grew up, you were a witch, didn't you? Maria nodded seriously. Tears started to run from the corners of her eyes. I see. To a girl who wants to become a witch in the future, the existence of Beatrice was proof that witches do exist in this world, and was therefore an image that she yearned after and admired. Exist! Exist! Witches exist! The powers doesn't believe! It's okay, witches do exist. I believe it. George and Nikki kneeled down and hugged Maria's head. Watching this, Jessica poked my head. So that's what it is. It's like shouting that Santa Claus doesn't exist in front of a child who believes in him on Christmas Eve. I'm not the kind of guy who likes to shatter kids' dreams. Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to make fun of your dreams, so I apologize. Beatrice does exist. Even now, she's living in the forest and comes to the mansion every night to peek in and see what everyone's doing. So you shouldn't go into the forest. At night, you mustn't stare into the dark forest. You might be seen by the witch of the forest, Beatrice. After all, grandmother said so. Really? Bella really believes? Yep, I believe. Sorry for doubting it. Come on, let's make up. I stuck out my hand, Maria grabbed it with her tiny hand, and we made up. Maria didn't grumble any more than that, so George and Nikki and Jessica were released. Alright, that's good enough. Bye-bye.